and welcome back to the channel if you've been with us before, or welcome to the channel if it's your first time with us. This is Leanne Presents. I'm Leanne, your host for the video, and my co-host is with me, Allin. As you've seen from the title card, we are here today with our reactions to AEW's pay-per-view Double or Nothing.
Did you just have to check your notes to see what the title was?
I actually looked down. It's not even written on it, but I noticed, and then it came to my mind. So we've literally just finished watching. It aired Sunday night, and we're recording this on Monday after we've just watched it.
Yep.
What an event! What an event! If you haven't looked at our predictions for the event and you want to go check those out, we'll put a link somewhere on the screen. And as is probably quite obvious, there will be spoilers in this video. So if you want to check out the actual pay-per-view first, go do that and come back and join us. Cool. Well, I mean, it was definitely eventful, to say the least. So we're going to go through sort of each match, do a bit of I guess, the highlights and the outcomes, and put it against our predictions from
highlights and lowlights, I guess, if there was anything bad you want to say about the matches.
If there's bad stuff. And to start with, one of the matches was on the buy-in, so we did watch that. It was the Hardys and Hook versus the Guns and Ethan Page for control of Ethan Page's contract.
Yes, which we forgot to mention in the predictions, but...
It's all good, don't worry about it. We mentioned the match, but not the stakes, was it?
Yes, yeah.
It's fine. It's a good start. Good way to get the crowd going. Very enjoyable match.
Considering it was a buy-in as well, like usually if you watch a pre-show at WWE, it's half empty. The arena was practically full already at that point.
People wanted to be there to see this match.
Because you know they're going to get a banger of a buy-in show.
Yeah, there's always good stuff on the buy-in. Jeff Hardy put on a great show considering he's been out of wrestling for a while.
11 months.
11 months. No sign of ring rust, but definitely a bit of fatigue creeping in. But I think he fought through it really well.
It's ring cardio, I think it's...
Yeah, it's the cardio stuff, the stamina. But he made it work, made it part of the story. It was an interesting sort of sell job with the knee or the ankle tweak that he had.
Yeah.
Whatever happened there, I'm guessing part of the story, but he sold it really well. He's sort of getting up onto the ropes and sort of just slipped and fell backwards. Yeah, he kind of goes
to jump up, doesn't he? And he kind of just...
Like, was that on purpose? I don't know.
You kind of saw in the replay, you can see he kind of just gently sort of angles his foot and he's like, oh no, he's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. But, like, when you're wondering if it is real, you know he did a good job, right? It's good stuff. Yeah, good stuff. Anything else? They had Brother Zay, Isaiah Cassidy, was on the outside in his neck brace because he's injured, hence Hook being in this match. And the Guns attack him and rip off his neck brace. So we've got Matt Hardy then checking on him, which sort of upset some of the run that the Hardys had been on in the match and gave the Guns the upper hand. But in the end, we've got Hook getting the red rum on Ethan Page, who taps out.
Yeah, he gets a twist of fate off Matt, then a twist of fate off Jeff, and he gets hooked in the red rum.
Hooked in the red rum.
God. Yeah. It was an incredible opening match.
Yeah, definitely.
And for anyone who doesn't know, the buy-in shows, the pre-shows are usually free on YouTube, so you can actually check this out right now by going to AEW's YouTube page.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Why not? Yeah, it's a great match to get.
It's frantic as well. It barely stopped.
Yeah, it was non-stop. You don't want to blink in these sorts of matches. No. Great.
You know what else you don't want to blink on? Hitting that subscribe button to our channel and make sure you hit that notification bell. Because if you do manage to blink when we upload stuff, you'll get a notification to remind you. Boom.
Smooth.
I thought so.
Also on the buy-in, as well as your usual interviews and recaps and stuff, they had what they called it, an opening ceremony for the Owen Hart Foundation tournament, which was a bit confusing in my mind. I didn't quite know what was happening. They were referencing gangsters. Yeah. Tony Khan came out in a fedora with a heart on it.
It said OHF in it as well.
I have no idea what's happening right now.
What's going on? Yeah, confused.
I wouldn't call it a ceremony either, but...
They did say, I believe, the opening rounds would take place at Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
So there's going to be New Japan Pro Wrestler guys in this, which is going to be interesting.
It's going to be great. So yeah, that's cool. And that was the pre-show. Then they started introducing for the first match in Double or Nothing main show.
Yeah. Because I said, I think in the predictions, like, the other guys were just going to come out, start generic music, and just stand around the ring or stand in the ring, but they didn't. They did it on the pre-show, and every one of them had their own entrance theme song, and it's like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. I like
it's
that.
Cool. It gives them the opportunity and that sort of thing.
It's a bit of a
Without taking
showcase
away
then,
from the
main event,
broadcast.
the pay-per-view, yeah. I mean, who wants to order a pay-per-view and they watch 20 minutes of entrances? Well, it was probably closer to like 12. I think it was about 13 minutes left on the buy-in when the first people started coming out, I
think so, yeah. I guess one thing to broach about the show as a whole, there's 2 main events.
But they didn't push it that way. They didn't go, hey, we've got 17 main events.
I only realised that there were 2 main events when they started saying, and this is the second part of our double main event. I was like,
they did say the beginning of the 4 pillars as well.
I missed it. But yeah, I mean, I guess perhaps if both companies are doing multiple main events.
But, double main event, back to back, is better than having one at the beginning of the show.
That's very true. Spread out.
You know?
Because at least this way, it's like the main events are at the end. So it's the build-up, and then you have both main events.
I think the problem is when you've got 2 strong... So, a little bit of a spoiler. It's the 4 pillars match for the title and the Anarchy and the Arena match on the main event. The double main event. But which do you put over the other? Like, because the title's in the picture, does that go there? Or because the story with the Elite and the Blackpool Combat Club is stronger, do you put that in the main event? But at least they didn't go, hey, 4 pillars match, beginning of the card. Anarchy and Arena, end of the card, or vice versa, you know. They didn't do what they did with Seth and AJ, which screwed them over. What was because there was a double main event for Backlash as well. And it was...
I can't remember.
Cody and Lesnar. I can't remember what the other one was. I think it was Riddle, Zayn, and Bloodline. I think that was classed as the main event. So yeah, they did do those back to back, which is fine. In my mind, that's fine. If you're going to split them, that's crap.
That's where the problem is. Okay.
Forgot to mention we did get the predictions right for the Hardys and Guns match.
Okay, so on to the actual match that we started talking about.
Yep. The Blackjack Battle Royale.
Blackjack Battle Royale for the AEW International Championship. So we've had all the entrances on the buy-in. So when the event starts, you've got Orange Cassidy standing in the ring, and everyone else is surrounding the ring. And then the match starts, and it is absolute chaos. Now, considering we were watching this, like, while I was halfway through my first cup of tea of the day, I had real trouble keeping track of what was going on for the start of this match. It was absolute chaos, but enjoyable chaos. So you had a lot of people were staying on the outside, brawling on the outside, because the rule, I suppose, is you can't be eliminated until you get into the ring, so... They bide their time on the outside. You had Swerve and Brian Cage were standing halfway up the ramp.
Mobile affiliates.
Definitely biding their time, not exerting any energy until they felt the opportune moment. So there's a lot of that ring psychology stuff going on right from the start.
Yeah. There was a few others standing outside or on the ring themselves. I can't remember who they were off the top of my head.
I don't know. I know Dustin Rhodes was brawling on the outside. I noticed him.
Yeah, there was a few guys panel. I think Big Bill was on the outside until about halfway through.
It's a smart thing to do, and also it does help to tone down the chaos a little bit and give whoever is in the ring a bit more space to work and a bit more, opportunity.
There were some unfortunate cuts in this match as well, which made it a bit difficult to see what was going on.
Yeah, I did miss some things.
Which was a bit, I wouldn't say annoying, it was just, but then with a match like that, with so much going on, it's hard to do that, so.
How do they possibly make sure they're in the right place at the right time all the time?
Well, it's more the truck would be feeding each cameraman, so they'll have a bunch of monitors and they'll go, right, camera 1, camera 6, camera 3, and it's still difficult, because you're trying to watch everything across all these monitors, like, oh god.
I cannot imagine that job. That'd be horrible. I wouldn't want to do that. So some really fun moments. We had Brian Cage against all of the luchadors.
Oh god, yeah.
I think
some might say it's a lucha house party. See what I did there?
So you had Penta El Zero Miedo.
Yeah.
Ray Phoenix.
Yeah. Well, can she do it?
Oh, I don't think I can.
Bandido.
And
Commander.
Yes, and Commander. So the 4 of them. I think it was just them.
It was the 4 luchas.
And Brian Cage in the middle, and they're all like doing crazy moves, and he's like, it's good. I enjoyed it.
I was kind of half expecting like a Hulk pile up, like he would go down and then be like, "Ah!"
And then it'll like fly away.
Yeah.
It was good. It's a fun sort of spot. You had a lot of storytelling within this with the different rivalries.
Well, Ricky Stark and the Bullet Club Gold.
Yeah.
You had Swerve, Brian Cage, Dustin Rhodes, and Keith Lee.
Yeah. So all of those.
Kip Sabian, Orange Cassidy. Kip Sabian was the one that tried throwing Orange Cassidy straight off the gate because they've had history.
Yeah.
Best friends.
Best friends, very much looking after Orange Cassidy
Well,
for as long as they could.
Orange ducked up the way and one of them made a bullet by accident.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see Orange Cassidy on the apron. He was like, sorry. He's kind of apologising to, I think it was Trent that went out first.
I think so.
No, I think it was Chucky T, and I think Trent ate the bullet, he pushed Orange out of the way, and he ate a bullet for him to prevent him from losing the match.
Best friends. They did have a hug, obviously.
Yeah.
Because you've got to give the people what they want.
Yep.
I'd written down about Penta being eliminated by Big Bill.
Yeah.
With a big, I think it was a lariat.
Yeah.
I don't know, that just looked crazy.
Big Bill's a big son of a bleep. Oof.
He's a big Bill.
He's got like 6'8". He's huge. For anyone who doesn't know who Big Bill is, and you're an old school sort of WWE NXT fan, it's Big Cass from the team with Enzo Amore. Was that? I think it was Enzo and Cass.
And you can't teach that.
You can't teach that.
I know why I wrote down specifically about Penta's elimination is because he was in the final four that were left. It was Penta, Big Bill, Swerve, and Orange Cassidy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so of those four, Penta's the first to be eliminated.
Yeah.
And then you had Big Bill attempting to eliminate Orange Cassidy, but Swerve interrupts and by doing so eliminates Big Bill.
Which doesn't make sense because you want to get Orange Cassidy out, right?
I don't know, because
Swerve kind of dropped the ball on that
eliminating Big Bill is the more challenging of the two.
True.
So if you had an opportunity to do it, but I think because Big Bill had Orange Cassidy up to throw him out,
press, yeah.
so it might have been that the intention was for Swerve to push him so they both go over, and it just didn't play out like that.
Yeah.
It was a fun spot, and then just having Swerve and Orange Cassidy against each other, I'd watch that match on its own.
I reckon they'll end up building to that at some point, but then I still feel they need to finalise this story with Keith Lee.
Yeah, definitely.
First, because they haven't had their collision yet.
No, they need to do that. But the chemistry that Swerve and Orange Cassidy had, the styles just complement each other so well that it worked really well. It looked amazing. They were just like, I don't even know what was happening half the time. It's those moves where you're not quite sure who's in control until it lands.
Yeah. It's like, wait, what? And sometimes even then you don't know. It's like, what did I just see?
Countering each other mid-air 3 or 4 times before they land. What's going on?
There's going to be plenty of that later on.
But you end up with both of them having gone over the top onto the apron, which is the most dangerous position to be in, and just going at it. You had Swerve got staggered by Orange Cassidy, so he was like leaning off.
An orange punch, wasn't it?
Leaning off but holding onto the ropes. And then it looks like Orange is going to do another orange punch, but instead he just lightly kicks Swerve's arm, making him let go, and off he goes, making
Ding,
Orange
ding.
Cassidy the winner and retaining the championship.
Still champ.
What a great opener.
It was a tense ending as well. I really enjoyed that tension because you could have gone either way so easily.
Because there were moments where both of them were like that, hanging off with just their arms on the ropes.
Yeah, because there was a part as well where Swerve kind of grabs Orange Cassidy's hands, puts it in his pocket, puts the other one in his pocket, and he's like, oh, he's stopping him from grabbing the ropes to stop him skinning the cat. And that's genius.
Yeah.
But it backfired.
This is Orange Cassidy. His power comes from his pockets.
That's not so wrong.
Yeah, a little bit.
I do think Brian Cage, one of the MVPs of that match, he did such a great job. And I think Brian Cage is an underrated guy. I really like Brian Cage.
He could do with a run.
Yeah. We got that one right.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great opening. Really good opening to get that crowd sort of.
And really, it's not all battle royales are a good opportunity for almost every single wrestler to get a show.
Yeah.
And most of them did get a spot where they could showcase their talents.
Most battle royals don't really further many storylines. This furthered like 3 or 4 storylines. It's like, what the hell? Especially, I was enjoying the Ricky Starks Bullet Club stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I'm a Bullet Club fan. I'll admit that all day long. But I thought that was fantastic the way they did that.
And that's going to continue.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing. Great start. We love it. Next match, we've got Chris Jericho versus Adam Cole in an unsanctioned match with Sabu as the special enforcer.
Sabu.
So this match didn't go exactly as I sort of
No.
expected it to, but this is fine. Because we don't want to be able to predict everything exactly, or what's the point watching?
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is another very chaotic start. Everyone was there, so you had the Jericho Appreciation Society, and other people. I'm going to write it down. Don't worry about it. Loads of people were out.
Yeah,
it was fine.
It was all the JAS.
Yeah.
And you had Roddy Strong and Sabu.
Yeah.
And they kind of cleared the rest of the JAS off. It was like...
They did.
There we
Sabu
go.
was just chucking chairs left and right into people's faces. And yeah, it ended up with them just all leaving.
Yeah.
Which was one of the sort of surprises, I think, is that was all we saw of Sabu. It was just that opening bit, the brawl, and then he was gone.
I did put on my notes I expected more Sabu. But he did hit, like, what, 2 spots? He hit the table spot.
Yeah.
There was the chairs, the swinging chair spot.
I feel like he's just too old to be, like, jumping onto tables.
Yeah. It did look like he maybe gassed himself a little bit with that.
Probably.
When he landed. It's like, he's 58.
Maybe that's why he didn't come back, but, you know, it's good. The rest of the match was great. So much happens.
Jericho Appreciation Society are a boy band now, apparently.
They are. They're all matching jackets, as you'd expect. Then they also had this little choreographed kind of spot at the top where they just all turned at the same time and then, like, opened their jackets at the same time.
Little dance routines. Like, oh my
God.
Really?
Them. They're going to come up with music videos now, and I do want to see that. Yes. Like Westlife or something. Fire extinguisher. Adam Cole was in Lion Tamer.
Walls of Jericho.
Oh, sorry. Walls of Jericho. They're similar.
Yeah, they are.
Excuse me.
The Lion Tamer, he kind of stands up more right, he twists a bit more.
Oh, yeah.
The Walls of Jericho, he sits down. It's proper full-on Boston crab where he's sitting down.
So Cole manages to get himself to the ropes, but there's no rope breaks because it's
ref's like, doesn't matter, pal.
But so conveniently, there's a fire extinguisher next to the ring steps. So he manages to grab it, but obviously it's extremely heavy, and he is in Walls of Jericho. So he's just sort of makes no show of having it in his hands. Jericho goes to pull him back into the ring, so he doesn't have the leverage. Fire extinguisher comes with it, turns over, sprays in Jericho's face, gets out of the move. Unfortunately, having a fire extinguisher in the ring while Jericho is there isn't always going to go your way, because later on Jericho does drop it on top of Adam Cole.
That was nasty.
Right in the chest.
Oh, that was nasty.
Ouchies.
Yeah.
Obviously a kendo stick makes an appearance, and as the kendo stick's about to be used, Jericho's going to attack Cole with it. Britt Baker comes out and just goes for Jericho with another kendo stick.
Oh, she unloaded.
Yeah.
Hard.
Wax. It looked like actual tears in his skin after it. It was rough. But then Saraya comes out to try and stop her, but Britt Baker just chases her back out.
She gets her comeuppance with the kendo stick too.
With the kendo stick. Which is cool. It's good continuing that storyline, and there's more that comes into it later in the event.
Yep. Spoilers, pal.
Spoilers. Keep watching, and we'll let you know what happened, unless you've already watched it, and then you know. It's kind of weird. What's also kind of weird is the next prop that I've written down, which is an extremely long chain with a handcuff either end, which my first thought is, what on earth is the purpose of this item in life? I have no idea what it could be used for. Unless it's like for community service with like litter picking on the side of the road or something, and they have to keep them close to the van. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's weird, but they've got one. So Jericho manages to get one of the cuffs on Adam Cole, but he gets the better of him, and then Adam Cole puts the other cuff on Jericho. So now we've got basically a strap match, and there's a lot of the pulling people with it, whipping people with it, just good old strap match behaviour, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's good. So after a bit, then you've got Adam Cole basically just punching Jericho in the head over and over again. And Jericho isn't defending himself, so the referee stops the match. declaring Adam Cole the winner.
He does wrap the chain around his knee and hit him with a boom as well.
Ah, yes.
So that kind of is a bit of a precursor into the punches. It's like, oh, he's going over a pin. Nope, full sort of mount. Boom, boom, boom.
Right in the head.
It's like, oh, God.
Yeah, you can only let that go on for so long.
Yeah, well, if he's not defending himself, his referee has to stop it, so.
Both arms were free, so he was
Adam
just
Cole
out of it.
wins.
Adam Cole, baby!
Got that one right.
Wait. Again, another great match.
Yeah.
You've got storylines being put forward, progressed. Crazy action, chaos. It's what you expect from an AEW pay-per-view, isn't it?
I'm trying to figure out where they go from here. Because it's clearly not over, which we'll explain a little bit of that when it comes to that certain point. But
how do you escalate from that point?
Do you have Adam Cole make a group and then take on the JS and Blood and Guts or something?
Could be. It's already got Sabu. Cool.
Bring in Sandman and RVD.
Ooh.
Like the old ECW originals.
Interesting. Anything else about that match?
Nope. You covered everything I got.
Awesome. So next we go on to FTR versus Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett for the AEW World Tag Team Championships with Mark Briscoe as a special referee and a cat as special guest.
Who's our special referee?
Special enforcer, Ragnarok, destroyer of worlds. Cat scratch break.
Scritch tax.
Scritch tax. So yes, this match wasn't as chaotic as such. It was more of a steady sort of slugfest, I suppose. A lot of hard hitting. Cash was in the ring for an awfully long time.
Yes.
Just getting beat down, unable to make that tag. And just the relief that there was when he managed to tag Dax in was palpable.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. Because, I don't know, FTR are amazing. Just, they're such good wrestlers and their tag team performance is incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, what else can you say?
I mean, saying that as well, I thought Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal, when they weren't dealing with shenanigans and stuff, they were doing a great job as a tag team as well.
They really were.
They don't need Sanjay. They don't need Satnam Singh. They especially don't need Karen bloody Jarrett.
No.
What's the matter?
Rags is sad.
But saying that, Sanjay Dutt's jacket give me Jimmy Hart vibes.
Yeah.
With the sort of painted effect to it with everything. Which is
was
pretty cool.
A bit of a wild jacket. So
Never thought I'd ever say anything that's cool about Sanjay Dutt, but
had like a giant pencil down one arm.
Yeah, and then that painting of them in the overalls on the back with Mark Briscoe. I was like, oh my god.
Terrible. So Sanjay Dutt gets ejected from ringside after he pulls Dax off when he's trying to pin
I think they hit the shatter machine and they pulled, they got pulled out.
So Mark Briscoe is making a show of ejecting him and also ejecting Satnam Singh, thank you. But then Jarrett goes to hit Dax with the guitar. Dax moves. Mark Briscoe eats it.
Eat it hard.
Yeah, it's a hard hit. So he's out, down and out, probably unconscious, at least in storyline.
Yeah.
So when Dax then is able to get the pin, there's no ref. Then we see Aubrey coming to the rescue, running down. But Sanjay Dutt is blocking her from coming in.
Yeah.
And then from behind him comes
good old
Karen with the other guitar. Because yes, what's better than one guitar? Two guitars. And completely nails her on the head with it as well. So she's out. No one hits Aubrey. If there's any way to solidify that you are a heel, you hit Aubrey.
It wasn't even a tap. It was a full-on smash.
The thing disintegrated. So Jeff Jarrett gets Dax in a pin. Mark Briscoe starts to come to, thanks to Sanjay Dutt kind of helping to wake him up. But because he's groggy, he's counting slowly.
Yeah.
Which means Dax is able to kick out, which angers Jeff.
Yeah.
He goes after Mark, which is a big mistake, ends up slapping him in the face. FTR come up behind him and hit the shatter machine and pin him to a fairly quick count, but not that you'd say it was unfair.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was a quick count.
I think compared to the last count, it felt very quick. and they win and retain.
Yep.
And Mark Briscoe gives them the belts, and they all have a hug, and it's nice.
It's probably remiss to mention that Mark Briscoe at the beginning, when the first pinfall was he's kind of like stood in the corner, like twiddling his thumbs, and it's like, oh crap, I'm the referee. It's like, God bless.
He had his work cut out being. I don't know if he's done any. He's probably done some reffing before. I don't know. It was a tough one. This one. There was a lot of shenanigans and distractions.
But FTR overcame the odds.
Yes, so they retain the AEW Tag Team Championship.
Top guys out.
Yay.
We got that one correct.
Of course we did. It's FTR. So we go to the back where Ricky Starks is being interviewed, saying that his intention in the Battle Royale had been to eliminate both the guys in the Bullet Club Gold, and as if summoned by magic, Bullet Club Gold come out and attack him. But it's quite handy that FTR at this point are coming back from their match, so they intervene and save Ricky Starks.
Yeah.
Which I feel like there's usually with the backstage interviews, there's no sense of timing. They can do the pre-recorded stuff.
Yeah.
But this was very sort of clearly happening right in the back as this match was finishing. So it all sort of worked together.
You could see the stairs in the background leading up to the screen.
So it sort of put it in the place where it should be, which I think was quite refreshing. So it sort of brings it to life a little bit, those backstage segments.
So it was more like, right, Ricky Starks, where is he? We've got to find him, and he's still sort of chilling by the entrance. Nobody expected him to be chilling by the screen.
No, exactly. Good stuff. Then we go to Jericho in the back with Saraya, being generally annoyed at turns of events. And they end up calling out Adam Cole and Britt Baker to have a mixed tag team match.
Jericho's got a beautiful black eye coming.
Oh, yes, he does. So they call up for this match, and then some employee comes out, because they're smashing stuff backstage, and he's like, you can't do that, calm down. So he gets a fireball to the face.
Because he's a wizard, Jericho.
Jericho's a wizard.
You're a wizard, Jericho.
I've missed Jericho Wizard. Fireball the back.
Jericho Wizard.
Jericho Wizard. I guess if you're going to bring back the wizard, it's got to be in Las Vegas. Awesome. Anything else about that sort of section?
Nope.
Cool. Next match, we've got Wardlow versus Christian Cage for the TNT Championships in a ladder match. Luchasaurus does come out with Christian Cage, but then he tells him to go back because he doesn't need him. We'll see about that. Christian's wearing a turtleneck with no sleeves. I think he's worn it before. But it's notable this time because of the turtleneck chants from the crowd.
That was different.
I love crowds that just make up random chants. It's great. It was turtleneck, turtleneck, turtleneck. Anyway. Fun match, really good. Some hard moments to watch, maybe.
Yeah.
Yep. Obviously, when ladders are involved, when Wardlow's involved, and when Christian is involved, you're gonna get some hard hits and bent ladders.
Yeah.
And we definitely get some of that. Where do I start? Wow, so much. So there was one silly moment from Wardlow. At one point, there's a ladder set up in the middle of the ring. Wardlow has Christian Cage up, ready to powerbomb him. But the positioning just meant that Christian could jump up onto the ladder. And Wardlow's looking around oh, where'd he go? Oh no, he's up the ladder. Gotta pull him down. Ring awareness. And at that point, he put the ladder down before doing anything else. Okay, cool. He's learning. He's learning. He's not at ladder matches like Christian is.
No.
Luchasaurus does come back, obviously, to get involved. Manages, as Wardlow's very close to being at the top of the ladder, so Luchasaurus comes out, rolls Christian back into the ring so that he's in a position to stop him, which is, I sort of wasn't exactly the way we'd expected him to come in. What we'd expect is Luchasaurus to come in and just hit Wardlow, but instead he's more helping Christian to get into the position, which is almost a less wrong way to do it. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
Then Arn Anderson comes out as well, so evening the odds, sort of, I suppose.
Yeah.
But he's sort of just coming out to encourage Wardlow at this point.
Training and
coaching, yeah.
Coaching, I still not training.
I know some words. And then the painful spot where Christian is on the ladder, Wardlow is on the turnbuckle, on the top turnbuckle, and jumps to the ladder. He's a heavy dude.
Yeah.
These ladders are sturdy, but they're not meant to take like a high impact from this size of a guy.
No.
So the whole thing just buckles. And I'm definitely not intended by the reactions they had. And because Wardlow tried to set the ladder back up to climb up it, and the ref came in and was like,
you can't use this ladder, pal. No.
You've got one of the legs like this high off the ground. No, that's not going to work. And then Luchasaurus attacks Wardlow. Arn Anderson comes up behind him to do something. I don't know what he was going to try and do.
Some people surmise a DDT. I thought he was going for a spine buster.
Yeah, something like that, which would have been impressive to see. But Luchasaurus sort of catches him in a chokehold kind of thing. And in reaction, Arn Anderson bites Luchasaurus' thumb.
Straight in, just like...
Chomp. And you had said he's got something in his mouth, hadn't you?
When Luchasaurus has his hand around his throat, he's kind of like...
Yeah, because the immediate reaction
he's got
is to
something
open
in his
your
mouth.
mouth.
He's got something in his mouth.
So it must have been a blood capsule or something, because Luchasaurus gets his thumb back and it's just covered in blood. Arn Anderson's face is just like a bloody mess. It's a fun spot. It's not what we expected to see.
I was expecting to pull his Glock out, but here you are. Can't win them all.
Just bite a thumb instead. And then Wardlow hits Luchasaurus with the chair, manages to get him onto some tables that were set up earlier in the match, climbs right to the top of a ladder, and I don't know if it's a swanton bomb.
It's a senton.
That one. On him, through the table. It's like, ouch. Ouchies.
Those tables have no chance.
No, they
Think of the poor tables kids, damn it.
Tables. While this is going on, Christian has managed to get himself back in the ring. There's quite an interesting shot from the cameras, which just like had the ring, and then Christian just goes.
Yeah, that was
tops
quite,
up.
That was quite funny. It's like a.
But he notices, sees his moment, and starts making the climb for the ladder.
Reminds me of that World War II sketch thing. I can't remember the name of it, but it's the cartoon character with the bald head that's got his hands peeking over the thing with his nose over the wall. It's quite funny. I can't remember what it's called. But it was tagged everywhere.
So he's making the climb. Arn Anderson tips the ladder, making Christian fall off it, but landing perfectly on Wardlow's shoulders for the powerbomb. So he gets powerbombed, Wardlow climbs the ladder, pulls down the belt, and retains the TNT Championship.
Ding ding.
Wow, what a ladder match.
Yeah.
So many ladders.
Well, what a prediction, because I got that one correct.
Yeah.
Leanne did not.
I didn't. I need to be more optimistic.
There was a lot of moving parts.
Yes.
In that match.
There really were.
There's no other way to explain it. There was a lot of moving parts.
This whole pay-per-view, it feels like there's a lot of moving parts.
What's the likelihood now of Christian going, well, you beat me, okay, but can you beat him?
Yeah, I think that's next.
And Luchasaurus and Wardlow is next.
Probably. Luchasaurus will have his thumb all bandaged up.
It'd be Solo Sokoa.
Oh, awesome. Anything else about that match?
Nope.
Nice.
Just I got it right.
Yeah, you did. You don't have to rub it in. Next one. Jamie Hayter versus Toni Storm for the AEW Women's World Championship.
Yep.
That's alright. So
It's alright.
it's alright. Toni Storm comes out as normal. The Jamie Hayter's music plays and nothing. And then they start Jamie Hayter's music again. And then she sort of crawls out, being followed by Saraya and Ruby Soho, who are attacking her. Nothing.
Who's Ruby Soho?
I don't know. I'd written Soho, but for some reason my brain told me that was wrong and it was Solo. I guess I had Solo Sokoa in my head.
That's right, blame me.
Why am I blaming you?
Because I said soul is a car.
Oh, that's why. Anyways, so yeah, they've been attacking her, and the attack continues down to the ring with Toni Storm joining in as well. They're targeting the injured arm, which is heavily taped up. But for some reason, she says she can still do the match.
The reason being, if she says you can't do the match, she'd lose the match and the title would go to Toni Storm. So you might as well put up a fight, right?
I suppose, yeah.
I'm wondering if it's a shoulder or an arm injury, because there was it was mainly sort of up here.
Yeah.
That was taped as opposed to the arm. So I think it might be a shoulder problem, not an arm injury.
They're attacking both. It's all good. So yeah, the match goes ahead. And it's basically just a beatdown.
Well, Jamie had a good few good hits.
She got a few good hits, but then getting her shoulder and arm rammed into stuff for the most of the match. It's quite hard to watch in some bits. She did a really good sell job on it.
Yeah.
Well. I don't know if her injury is real or
there was a thing saying that she was injured going into the event. So,
but then if she's really injured, why is she in a match at all?
Because it might not be that bad, and it's just a way to prevent having to strip another title off someone.
Yeah, maybe.
So if you can go into a squash match and take a loss, that's better than going, I can't fight, here's the belt.
Yeah, as long as it's not something that would have made the injury worse.
No,
it's
I
okay.
don't think they would have been that stupid.
No. Maybe it's actually the other arm that was injured the whole time.
It might be.
Because all the focus is on the taped up one. Okay, so...
I'm not even an arm injury.
So during the match, we've got Saraya taking the turnbuckle pads off. We're just waiting for that to come to fruition for ages. Well, not for ages. It was a very short match. But Britt Baker comes down and chases Saraya off. Because obviously they've got the beef going on. The ref somehow... I think I was writing about Britt Baker coming down when something happened and the ref got sent into the turnbuckle. The exposed turnbuckle. Not quite sure what happened.
I think it was still a bit of padding on it, but yeah, he did eat it because he didn't go down. He just kind of stunned himself. He's like, oh.
Then we got Ruby Soho spraying the spray paint in Jamie Hayter's eyes. Yep. And then Shida comes out and attacks Ruby Soho with a kendo stick. So equalising again a bit. Hayter goes for shoulder first into the exposed turnbuckle, and Toni Storm pins her for the win. So Toni is the new AEW Women's World Champion.
The first ever 2-time Women's Champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did not get that one right.
No. It was a really hard-hitting match, but I sort of felt like the ending was a bit flat.
Yeah.
Because Hayter went shoulder first into the exposed turnbuckle, like I said, but then that was like it. The problem is that she hit the Haterade with the kinesio tape on. Yeah. Went for the cover and Toni Storm kicks out. Then she gets out and rips the tape off. So you're kind of taking away that protection. Yeah.
And then she got rammed into the corner.
It just feels like it wasn't enough for her to not be able to move.
Yeah, I know. I kind of, because that news came out yesterday morning, I think, about the injury and that she might not be able to go, and if the match goes ahead. And I kind of wished I'd changed the prediction on the update, because I think that knowing that sort of predictions video, I would have said Toni Storm.
Yeah, it does make sense.
Hey,
well, we're honest about stuff. It's all good. Yeah, it was okay. It was a fairly short match. There were ups and downs.
Now we've got another mid-champion.
Maybe she'll do a better job. Maybe she'll prove herself to you. Specifically you.
Just me. Prove yourself to me.
Okay, next match. We've got House of Black come out because they've got the Open Challenge. It's the World Trios Championship. It's going to be an open house match. And we don't know who the...
Don't we?
We don't know.
Don't we? Anyone who watched Rampage knows who the challengers are going to be.
It's the Acclaimed. Out they come.
Even Taz is like, oh, we'll see how the... And he gets, like, cut off. Someone must have said something, and then his mic in his earpiece.
We're not supposed to know.
And I think it was Tony was like, let's see who takes up the challenge. But they literally said on Rampage, we're in Vegas. Yeah. The house always wins, but I wouldn't bet on Black. And it's obvious that it's the Acclaimed go for it. So why... I don't understand.
Why the facade?
If you're going to do that, don't even bother saying anything and just have it as a mystery.
Yeah. Yeah. They do the usual rap sort of thing that the Acclaimed do. It's
Yep.
like double length, this one, because it's a special occasion. There's a lot of references to... Well, there's a reference to RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah, for Brody King.
And to Dominic.
Yeah, for Buddy. Because Buddy Matthews is Rhea Ripley's in real life partner.
Yeah. So it was basically like, you're letting Dominic get all over your lady kind of thing, I suppose.
I believe there was chants at some point in the match of who's your pappy.
Yeah.
Or maybe who's your
I
mammy.
think it was Who's Your Mammy, yeah. When Buddy was legal. That was fun. Yeah, the sort of rap ends with them saying that they don't need a special rule to beat the House of Black. So, because with the
choice
open
is...
house challenge, they have dealer's choice. They can choose a rule, and they choose not to choose a rule.
Stupid.
A little bit. Like, at least do something to your advantage, right? But I was trying to think what rule they could have chosen, and I just can't think of anything.
How do you
good.
stack against the house? You can only pin one member of the match.
Mm-hmm.
So they could have gone, you can only pin Billy Gunn, for example.
Okay.
Right?
But then they just never tag him in.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you stack the house cards.
Yeah.
You know.
There we go. Maybe someone will choose that at some point and it'll work. They'll say you can only pin Billy Gunn and he's not even in the match.
Yeah.
This match was great, as expected. I haven't written much because I was like...
Yeah.
It was one of those
God.
don't blink kind of matches.
That's incredible.
Had some amazing tag team action. More sort of... Anthony Bowens was the one. He was in the ring for a huge amount of time, just getting beaten down constantly. The amount of times he nearly made the tag and then it was taken away from him, just dragged away, or the people on the apron were dragged away, it's sort of like, not again, get damn it. But then he does manage to tag in Billy Gunn, who manages to take control for quite a bit, puts the whole House of Black down, but it only takes one black mass. Malachi hits the black mass.
And he ate it hard.
Oh yeah.
He just turned into the heel, just boom, straight in the face.
Straight in there.
Boom.
So Malachi pins Billy Gunn and they win and retain the tree as champions.
I don't think Malachi was there, I think it was Buddy that pinned him.
Oh, was it Bunny? But
Bunny? Oh my god. I'm so sorry to all our viewers. We're usually much better quality than this.
Are we?
Wow!
It wouldn't be the same if I didn't misspeak half the time. So yeah, great match.
Yeah.
Do you have any more to say, or were you sort of on the edge of your
No,
seat?
it's incredible showing by Bowens. Incredible showing by all of them. You know, it was fantastic all the way through.
It really was.
But always bet on black.
Always.
And always follow the house.
Always.
House of Black.
Yeah. Okay, next match. Dun, dun, dun. We've got Jade Cargill versus Taya Valkyrie for the TBS Championship. So I think we were mentioning in the predictions that they'd been saying it was
60-0.
60-0 for Jade's record, but they did correct it for this to say 59-0.
Yeah.
I don't know if they got some tweets.
And then you noticed a guy in the crowd, but I don't know if that's going to come into it later.
No spoilers. Stay tuned for whatever that was.
You heard nothing.
The entrances were a bit weird on this one.
Yeah.
So Taya Valkyrie comes out first, and there's these two dancers. One looked like she was in like a policewoman's uniform. I don't know. And the other in like had antlers or something.
To me, it kind of looked like the anyone who's seen Batman Forever, Sugar and Spice.
Okay.
All things sweet, all things like sour kind of thing.
So it might have been.
It's like an angel and a devil kind of, maybe.
Could have been.
That's what I took from it.
And then Jade Cargill comes out, and someone singing.
I have no idea.
Was that even her song? I don't even remember
No,
what her
it
song
wasn't.
sounds like.
It was
something.
not Jade Cargill's theme song.
So the singing is happening.
Jade
and
Cargill's theme doesn't have lyrics.
2 lines of ladies dancing, which was told are Jade's sorority sisters. So from the first Black women's sorority in the US.
I think African American women's sorority, I think is the word they used.
I can't remember.
Something
I'm
like
sorry.
Just so we don't offend
yeah,
anyone.
they're dancing. Anyway. Sometimes I get the special entrances and sometimes I'm like, I don't know what's happening right now. Just walk to the ring, it's fine.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a pretty good. I think this match was okay.
Yeah.
But then there's surprises, so we'll just go on with it. We have Taya Valkyrie taking out Mark Sterling from the turnbuckle.
Mm-hmm.
It's like landing right on him, which is fun. Taya did manage to hit the Valhalla on Jade.
Road to Valhalla.
And it looked like it was meant to be a 3 count. But something, I don't know, the ref seemed to hold back and then Jade kicked out. So Jade must have been off her timing.
Was this after the knees thing?
I think it was after the knees thing.
So I think they both kind of took a nasty hit after that knees thing.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened with that
Jade,
move.
I think, was going from the top rope.
Yeah.
And Taya looked like she was going for like a lung blower.
Yeah.
But it looked like Jade was too far forward. Taya got her knees up and slammed Jade in the midsection, which is going to win someone. And as Taya Valkyrie landed, she landed and bang, slammed her head on the mat.
It's rough for both of them.
So I think they both took a bit of a nasty knock on that one.
So Jade must have been pretty out of it.
She was probably winded. Taya was probably like, "Oh my god, what the hell was that?"
Yeah.
Like shaking it off, trying to.
And the ref held back on the pin on the count to give Jade that extra second. So I imagine if she hadn't managed it, he'd have still had to count.
Yeah.
But it was a bit obvious that it was not quite, that it was meant to be a 3 count, I think. But anyway, following that, Jade hits the Jaded. I know it's the same move, it's fine. And pins Taya for the win.
Yep.
Making it 60-0.
Yeah. So we did not get that one right.
No.
Technically.
But then, so they're celebrating in the ring. Mark Sterling has the mic, and is yelling about how Jade will take on anyone, anytime, any place, but there's no one left. And we're like, someone's going to come out.
It's like, oh, is this someone new? Is this someone returning? What's going on here?
And
Music
out
hits.
comes Chris Statlander. She's back. I don't know where she's been.
Injury.
But she's
I
back.
want to say knee. I think.
And she looks great. And the match starts immediately.
She's dropped this alien gimmick, which is great. I liked it at the start, but it got really old really quick.
Yeah, I think there's only so much you can do with it. The boobs were fun. But yeah, now she's... on her tights, it just says more than a human, I think.
More than a woman, I think it said.
Oh, I'm sure it said human.
You might be right.
So I think it might be still sort of there in the background, or at least a nod to it, potentially. So yeah, they have a short match. Jade is clearly already exhausted and winded from stuff, so she is taking hits and just getting beaten
down.
Which is so good to see, because she has been on this run for too long.
Yeah.
Chris hits her with a pile driver, I think it is.
Yeah, there's a name for it, I can't remember what it is.
Some kind of pile
It's
driver.
like it's almost like a package, because it's like a tombstone, but she overhooks and I can't remember what they called it.
Let us know in the comments. And Chris wins! Chris Statlander is the new TBS champion.
So technically, we were wrong. But technically, we were also right.
Yeah, because Jade didn't retain in the end.
We said that Jade was going to lose to Taya because she was going to lose the belt to Taya. So technically...
Let's count it. There's
I don't
confetti.
think we can.
Confetti. Because yay.
There's a lot of confetti.
So much confetti. It's good. I enjoyed the finish more than I enjoyed the matches. But yeah, it's good. I think that elation of seeing Chris Statlander back just made it for me.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right.
Okay.
And now we come to the first of our
double main
events. It's time for the first main event.
Yeah.
So this is the 4-way match for the AEW World Championship. The 4 pillars match, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got MJF, who's the current champion, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, Darby Allin, and Sammy Guevara. So Jack Perry comes down. His entrance is very normal. Nothing happens. All good. Sammy Guevara's entrance, he comes out with Tame Mello. Sorry, for some reason her name just went from my head. And we noticed that Sammy had the signs, because previously he had this gimmick where he would
in picture in picture
just have these signs slowly revealing a message, or I guess a promo in a way. So they both, I think they're both holding these signs, and then Sammy starts pulling them one by one.
There's only like 3 signs, isn't there?
Yeah, so it's something like, it's time for the big match. But first...
We have some
news. We're having a baby! I'm so happy. So Ty Mello and Sammy Guevara are expecting, and it's amazing.
Yeah, congratulations to both.
Which explains why Ty Mello hasn't been in action for a while, and she won't be for a long while.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the best to them.
No, it's fantastic news.
Yeah. Oh, they're so happy together. It's so nice. So then we've got Darby Allin's entrance, and he has this vignette where it starts in one of these Las Vegas chapels where people get married by Elvis, and there's the usual sort of person with an MJF paper mask with the eyes cut out kind of thing, and they're apparently waiting for his bride.
Which isn't going to happen.
But instead, in comes Darby Allin, beats him with a skateboard, and then asks Elvis to help dispose of the body. And then they go off in a car.
Does it get that he's doing the little Elvis jig on the skateboard as well?
He's on the skateboard, just like going
funny.
back and forth, which is great. And then when Darby Allin comes out, he's in like the white Elvis flare suit thing.
The jumpsuit.
With half of it painted like skeletons and woodland like he usually has on his face.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. It's a good look. And then MJF's entrance, where it starts with all the lights out and his music, but it's sort of all done by a string orchestra.
Yeah. I quite like that rendition, actually.
It's pretty cool. And then the lights come on, and the real music starts, and he is on a throne, but like elevated.
It's like 50, 60 feet in the air.
Something like that, yeah. Because we'd seen a panel on the floor at the top of the ramp and been wondering what it
FTR
was.
was coming out, yeah. So you were like,
yeah,
is that a riser? It's like, I have no idea.
It's alright.
Technically it is, yeah.
So yeah, he's up there, came down. He has got the demon mask on.
Devil
Mask, sorry. And then lining the ramp are ladies in white demon masks. And they're all like...
Well, the masks was just like the head. I think it was the headpiece with like horns or something. I think
it was part mask.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So the top of the...
Still a mask.
I think. Well, it wasn't the devil mask, was it?
Well, no, it's not the same mask. I said a different one. Fine. Anyway, you just want to prove me wrong all the time.
Well, you're already doing that yourself with this card. Oh!
I could just leave.
So right. You've got the full...
Bell rings. They start sort of squaring each other off. And MJF ducks out of the ring, as we'd expected him to do. But then he gets surrounded, sort of prompted back in the ring, and then everyone gangs up on him. As expected. This match was explosive.
He kind of deserves it.
Oh yeah, 100%. It was non-stop. There were some amazing spots where like everyone was submitting everyone in a circle.
That was wild. The referee must have been knackered.
He was just running around. There was a point where you had Darby, Sammy, and Jungle Boy all rolling up into pins. The three of them. I don't even know how they managed to do that. It's just insane. Just the talent on all four of these guys is incredible. And they all put on a show, and just the chemistry with each other was amazing. At one point, MJF got a mic, and you had Sammy in the ring, and MJF is encouraging Sammy to lay down for the money because he's having a baby and he needs the money. So Sammy says, "I'll lie down for you for the money." Lies down. MJF goes for the pin, but Sammy rolls him up to try and pin him instead.
Yeah.
Sick. Nope. He's not selling out. I mean, you get the money with the championship, so...
Yeah, exactly.
It's all good. Yeah, I've just written poor ref. There's no way you could keep track of everything. It did feel like they needed 2 refs for this match because it was just so insane. You had multiple pin attempts and multiple submissions at different times.
Yeah.
Just shenanigans. There were rings being put on and belts attempting to be used.
Rings as in rings, not wrestling rings.
The diamond ring.
Yeah.
Although that didn't end up getting used.
No, it didn't. No.
MJF put it on, but didn't get an opportunity. So, for the finish, we had Jungle Boy Jack Perry was on the floor. Darby Allin went up to do the coffin drop. MJF has the belt.
It's probably worth noting that Jungle Boy did refuse to use the belt, which got him
refuse.
booed.
That's his character.
This could be a transition for him. This could be a way out of this Jungle Boy character.
Maybe. He's nearly out. So MJF places the belt on Jack's chest, meaning that Darby just like slams right into it, eats it, and then MJF gets a side headlock takeover, which is what Darby Allin was going to use on him.
Which he did try and use on him as well. Yeah.
MJF pins Darby Allin, winning and retaining.
Because he's better than all of them, and they know it now.
He is really good, but he's also really annoying.
Oh yeah, yeah. What a roller coaster.
Crazy.
The one move I thought was phenomenal was, I think it was Darby was going for a suicide dive, and Sammy Guevara. So Darby Allin sort of comes out through the ropes, and Sammy Guevara's waiting for him, and he just hits a cutter right on the outside, and it's like, oh my god.
Catches him midair. Crazy. These guys are so talented.
So, predictions wise, I got that one correct.
Yeah.
Leanne did not.
Look how much glee he takes in me being wrong.
It's not glee, the view being wrong.
Ah.
It's the fact that I don't think MJF needs to drop that belt yet. I think he's doing a fantastic job as champ.
Wow. Talking of glee, you know what brings me glee? It's time for my favourite segment and your favourite segment. The Unsigned of the pay-per-view. The Unsigned of the pay-per-view. Why has plaid become more of a thing now?
It's easier to say.
Yeah, and it happens more often. So, signs are pretty on the thin side. I'm starting to think I might need to rethink how we do this segment, because there seem to be more good signs in like the shows for TV rather than the pay-per-views or the premium live events.
So you either do a build-up to the pay-per-view signs, but then that feels a bit meh.
I have to see. I'll have a think between now and the next one, and we'll see. I don't want to lose the segment because I enjoy it, but maybe need something to change. Or maybe people going to these shows need to take more good signs. There seems to be an increase in professionally printed signs. They're not making the list. I don't know. I can't even. There was one that was
Jericho.
There was one that was a tribute to Jay Briscoe. I couldn't read it all, but it was definitely like a professionally printed one.
Yeah, I think it just said Jay Briscoe the dates.
Yeah, which was nice. So that I guess gets an honourable mention, but it doesn't feel right. It's not handmade. So on number 3 in the top 3, Jade 62-0, which I put in because it's wrong. This guy holding up 62-0, and while the commentators are saying that it's 59-0.
Well, they're not going to do that in the arena.
I know, but
when
it's
they flashed
bless him.
When they flashed 60-0 on the screen after she beat Taya Valkyrie.
Oh. I don't know where he got 62, because the mistake had been adding 1, not adding 3. I guess the 62 could have been, he thought that they were going to win this one when it was 60, so then he was 1 off rather than 3 off.
I don't know.
Confusing.
That seems a bit sketchy.
If you're going to make a sign, though, at least know what you're talking about. Anyway, sign number 2, just enjoy wrestling. Like we always say, just enjoy wrestling. Doesn't matter what company you prefer, what you watch, as long as you enjoy, then...
The fact that there was a Dominic chant in an AEW event clearly shows that they're watching both products.
Yeah. And the top sign, which I have put, is Elite sold this seat. Which gets bonus points for rhyming, but also just showing that dedication to, their favourite faction is why they paid money to go see the show.
Does that also get bonus points for only showing up during the Anarchy in the arena match?
Well, it's related to... A lot of people put the sign up when it's related to the match that they want, but you'd know if you paid attention to signs.
I pay attention to the actual match instead.
This is like the difference between us. But yeah, Elite sold this seat. There were a couple of Elite signs, but that's the one. Because it rhymed, it made the list and is the top. Thanks for watching, Leanne. Signs of the pay-per-view. Yeah, signs of the pay-per-view. That was unsuccessful. And if you've got ideas on how you'd like to see this segment progress, let us know in the comments. Alright. So this
or reach out on our social media in the link link down below in the description.
We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and we're on Twitter. Which brings us, not quite so neatly, but there we go, to the second part of the main event. The Elite versus Blackpool Combat Club in Anarchy in the Arena.
Did you just say Blackball?
No, I said Blackpool.
Okay. So you said Blackball. I was like, what?
Talk about chaos.
Talk about anarchy, Leanne. It's right there in the title.
Here's what I've written. I don't even know what's happening right now. Insanity. The live band, Violent Idols, they're called keep playing. They're playing John Moxley's music. Yeah. Wild thing. The ref is bleeding. Don't know how that happened.
Well, what the hell?
The announce team's monitors are broken. They ended up having to share one monitor because nothing was working. And Don Callis is on commentary, which I've missed somehow. And that was just in like the first 5 minutes of the match. I don't know what happened.
I'd probably say close to 10.
Yeah, maybe 10. Because they started out in the stands.
Yes.
You had the Elite, because the Blackpool Combat Club come out through the crowd usually. So the Elite went to meet them. The bell rings when they meet. There was a weird moment where one of them was like, had Bryan Danielson and was running him down the handrail.
I think that was Nick Jackson,
And then I think it was Kenny had a bin at the bottom and just slammed it into his face at the bottom of the... so weird. And I know we were talking earlier about the refs having a hard job. I don't know how they kept up. And the camera choices, what to show.
It's difficult. They should have kept that split screen, because they said, they need split screen. And then about 20 seconds later, they have this split screen thing, and it's like, there we go, proper split screen, that's better. And then they take it off, and it's like, just leave the damn split screen up.
There's so much happening.
Yeah, until they all sort of rejoin in one location, you need that split screen. Like Claudio and Matt Jackson are fighting on the concourse.
Yeah.
Everyone else is fighting in the arena, and it's like, you can't follow both without two separate screens.
I know. So out on the concourse, you had, like you said, Claudio and Matt Jackson. Claudio was doing the swing on Matt Jackson and ended up swinging him into a bin. And then they keep going and end up in a pickup truck.
Yeah.
With Matt Jackson getting, like, I can't remember.
I think it was a pile driver.
Into the
I think it was a Gotch style pile driver. It's where you lift them up and again you cradle the arm down.
So that was happening. You had at the top of the rope, you had Nick Jackson fighting Bryan Danielson, I think.
I think it was,
I don't know.
Again, this is so chaotic, so we might be wrong with some of the details.
At some point, both the Jacksons are up there and super kick the singer.
Thank
finally,
God for that.
After 3 renditions of the song.
3, probably in the rest.
No, it was the third one.
Well, it was 3 too many.
It was. But I just loved how, like, the singer gets super kicked, so he's down. The guitar guys are like, oh, okay. And the drummer's just, like, doing a roll to end the song neatly. It's like,
and then he pushes over the cymbal stand, I think. He kind of shoves something, and it's like, there you go. Cool, awesome.
It's like, I'm just gonna...
I kind of get, like, do a live entrance. That's great. Awesome. Fantastic. But don't let it go on that bloody long. The commentators were practically shouting to be heard over the damn music.
I found having the music made it much harder for me to concentrate on what was happening.
It's sensory overload.
It's chaotic.
Yeah, it's sensory overload.
Because they had it before. Was it an Anarchy in the Arena match before where they had the song playing a few times?
It's possible.
But it was through the sound system.
Yeah, so it was less of volume to it.
Yeah, until they went through the sound desk or something to make it stop.
Yeah, I think it might have been that. I think it might have been Anarchy in the Arena. I can't remember.
It was something like a Falls Count Anywhere or that kind of thing. I don't know. Stop it. So we had Matt Jackson suplexing Wheeler Yuta all the way down the ramp.
Oh yeah, I think he got like 5.
That's pretty cool.
I think it was like a fisherman suplex kind of.
Yeah, it just keeps on going. That was pretty cool.
He was going to go for the big one at the end and someone stopped him.
Yeah. Bryan Danielson potentially was the one who stopped him because he ended up using the wire to sort of...
I think you're right. I think you might be right.
Across the face.
Was that? No, that was Hangman, wasn't it?
I can't
I can't remember.
I don't know. He was also choking someone, well, not choking,
One
across
good...
the face with wrist tape that he took off his wrist
Yeah.
and used that.
One good thing I think might have been before this was Bryan and Hangman Page are in the ring, and they're fighting, and then Bryan's on his knees, and he's like that, and he's like, huh, and then Hangman just takes off the eye patch, and Bryan Danielson's like,
oh.
and then he just kind of throws the eye patch at him, and it's like, screw you.
Nah, he's better.
Yeah.
Moxley uses a fork. So we've got Moxley.
I didn't even know where he pulled that damn thing from.
No
Must have
idea.
been like in his wrist tape or something. I don't know.
I think it's Moxley with
Kenny.
Kenny.
Because he's by the chip with the barbed
The
wire.
big poker chip that had barbed wire on the back of it. So they end up going into that a couple times, and then Moxley attacks him with a fork. I've got the pickup truck. There's a leaf blower, which we assume was used earlier on to clear up the confetti. That just like people get hit with it. I don't think they turn it on. They just hit people with it.
I think so, yeah.
That's used a few times. And then probably the most surprising moment was Nick. I think it was Nick Jackson super kicking John Moxley, but it exploded.
Oh, it was Matt. It was Matt Jackson.
Matt. So yes, it was Matt
because he got pile driven, and then he was like, "Where the hell's Matt Jackson?" Then he come hobbling back down the ring,
and then he super kicked and just.
It's like a massive.
Must be a firecracker stuck on his sneaker or something. So it just explodes in Moxley's face.
That's a beautiful shot, and I found an image which I'll put in the video here somewhere.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful image.
Crazy, and then the thumbtacks come out.
I was not expecting. I was like, "What the hell was that?"
It just happened. How did that happen? It's like, how could he walk with it? That's probably why he was hobbling. I guess because he can't step on it.
Well, I'd assume it was on the side.
Yeah, it must have been, but. I don't know, it was random.
I'd imagine it's remote control, it's on the side on his ankle or something.
Okay, yeah.
And then as he goes to do the super kick, someone's on the desk going click.
The timing was great though.
Yeah.
It was perfect. So there's thumbtacks now.
Don't like this bit.
It's horrible. So they Blackpool Combat Club end up taking Matt Jackson's foot off. Shoe off.
Jesus.
The one that had exploded. And
take his sock off as well.
They take his sock off, and then they pick him up and just drop him feet
and it's
first
like,
on the thumbtacks.
Yeah, well, it's like, well, they start work, they do that before the thumbtacks come out, and it's like, oh, they're just going to work the ankle without any protection, you know, the boot to protect it, and then Moxley brings out the bag, and it's like, oh, God, no. Oh, God. Oh, here we go.
And you can just see Matt Jackson's heel, and there's like, it looks like there must be a dozen thumbtacks just stuck in the foot.
Easy.
It's like, and I was thinking before, I was like, oh, even if they're not all pointed upwards, it's gonna hurt if you land on thumbtacks, whatever way around they are. But he must have landed in a patch that were all just upright because they just all went in his foot.
There was a shot later on when he's on the floor. I think it was after the match, and he's obviously pulled all the tacks out, and it's just blood all over his foot. And it's like, oh my God.
Yeah. So a lot of people go in these thumbtacks.
Yeah.
Okay, Don Callis then gets involved, giving Wheeler Yuta the screwdriver, which he uses to counter Hangman's buckshot lariat. So obviously trying to re-injure the eye, I suppose, with the weapon that they injured it with in the first place. And then we go to Kenny Omega, who has Yuta ready to do something. I think probably One-Winged Angel.
He hits him with that.
I thought he just put him down when he knew that Don Callis was standing behind him.
I'm pretty sure he hit it on someone. He definitely hit the one when he was on someone.
Yes, he
and it got broken
did.
up. That might have been Bryan Danielson, maybe.
So Don Callis is in the ring.
That's right. Kenny just knows, and he's like...
He knows.
As you say, he just kind of puts Wheeler down. He just sort of slowly turns around.
Yeah. Goes to go for Callis, but then someone in a hood comes up and attacks, and it's Takeshita. I had it right first time. I shouldn't have second guessed myself. Which allows Wheeler Yuta to pin Kenny Omega to win.
Which we got wrong. We expected the Elite to win this one. It is Takeshita's birthday today. I would say happy birthday, but nah. You got hell coming to you, boy.
Yeah, that was crazy. And then you've got like Don Callis strangling Kenny in the ring with his own belt, and madness.
One thing, like Kenny Omega's my favourite active wrestler at the moment. I freaking love Kenny Omega, he's amazing. But he doesn't do I'm getting choked face very well. It reminds me of Sackboy when you hit the button down to do his emotions. You're just like... It's like, oh my god.
I don't know, you get strangled and see what your face does. Maybe he knows. But I mean, well, that was the end of the main event. And what a show. Talk about storylines and just edge of your seat stuff.
So.
Here we go.
So, when Leanne was prepping for the video to do recording, getting her face on and whatnot, there's somebody put a video from the crowd that Kenny Omega after the match got a live mic.
Okay.
And was like, you know, I might not be the most liked person in the locker room in AEW, but I've got one or two friends in Japan, and I'll tell you this ain't over, not by a long shot. And it's like, Kota Ibushi, Kazuki Okada,
So is this a Forbidden
Hiroshi Tanahashi,
thing?
like come on, seriously. Like Hiroshi Tanahashi and John Moxley, I believe, fought Forbidden Door last year, right? Let me just double check that. I'm pretty sure they did. Let me go back far.
It would be perfect timing for Forbidden Door to bring them over and do some stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Claudio was... Yeah, Mox and Tanahashi. So they've got history. So you could do... I mean, obviously you've got the Elite.
Yeah.
Blackpool Combat Club now has 5 members, right? So all you need is that other one. So all you've got to do is bring in Kota Ibushi, and you've got the Golden Elite. Like, Tony Khan... make this happen. For the love of God, make this happen.
That'd be so cool.
But then one thing sparked in my head as well, and was sort of, obviously we're on the final thoughts of the entire thing, but leading into the next show, which is what?
All in?
Nope.
All out?
Nope.
Uh...
Forbidden Door.
It is
2
Forbidden Door.
in June, next month. So we're getting 2 pay-per-views back-to-back from AEW, which is great, because there's no WWE pay-per-view until, or PLE rather, until after Forbidden Door. So we're doing 2 AEW ones back-to-back.
Nice.
But Ricky Starks and FTR against Bullet Club Gold, and maybe someone else from OG Bullet Club? Ooh. Ooh. So many possibilities.
So many.
And obviously with the Owen Hart Foundation tournament taking place, or the opening sort of couple of matches or whatever it is they're doing at Forbidden Door, you could have New Japan versus AEW guys in this tournament, which is going to be great.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. What's your favourite match?
Oh god, that's really hard.
It's really hard. I had trouble. I was looking through my list. Like, I don't know.
I think I'm going to have to put it to top 3, just to give some honourable mentions. So, number 3.
Okay.
FTR, Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed that match. Number 2, Anarchy in the Arena.
Yeah.
Number 1, the 4 Pillars title match.
You know, that's the exact order I was going to do.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
That just did... I was expecting
so
Anarchy in the Arena to be great, but I think some of those odd camera cuts, the way you didn't quite see everything, that kind of pulls you out a little bit. And the music thing, that pulled me out a lot. Yes. That 4-way match was just like...
was perfect.
It was shoe blowing, like Matt Jackson's shoe. What was your least favourite match?
I'm gonna go with Jade and Taya Valkyrie.
Really?
Yeah. It was a close one. It could have been Jamie Hayter and Toni Storm was pretty low down.
I'm on the fence with both of those, unfortunately. And that's bad to say because they both went.
Yeah.
They should have just, if they're going to do for the injury thing with Jamie Hayter, don't have the match.
Or don't do it on a pay-per-view.
Or don't do it on a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
They could have easily done the injury thing on Dynamite or Rampage and said, well, the match is postponed until a later date until we know what's going on with Jamie Hayter. Yeah. Because I feel that was a bit of a rip-off to... If you go in there, you want to see the match, and it's a bit of a rip-off to that. You know?
Yeah, it's a bit. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Amazing. Do you want to take us home?
No, you're taking us home. You always take us home.
Why?
As I said. Come on, take us home.
Thank you so much for watching our reactions to Double or Nothing. We hope you enjoyed. Please like the video if you liked it. Subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we drop new videos. Leave a comment below. What was your favourite match or your least favourite match? Or both. Let us know. Follow us on socials. Our link tree is in the description below. It'll take you to our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram. Join us on social media. Chat with us. We also put up clips every time we put up a video, so you'll always know what's happening, as well as our weekly updates. So check that out. So the next pay-per-view is in June, Forbidden Door, like you said. So we'll be back with our predictions and then reactions to that. And in between, there'll be plenty of content with whether it's board games, video games, all sorts of stuff coming. So stay tuned.
Same Stone Cold time, same Stone Cold channel.
Although, well, the time can be any time you want.
Well, yeah, this is true.
Because you can watch YouTube whenever
But then
you
got
want.
catch up on demand as well, so technically it's the same thing, I guess.
Same thing. Cool. And on that note...
Don't go kicking in any forbidden doors.
Or do. Kick in those forbidden doors.
Come on, Okada. Come on, Ibushi.
Bye.